My friends, the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. The crowds of people asked John the Baptist, "What should we do?" John said to them in reply, "Whoever has 2 cloaks should share with the person who has none, and whoever has food should do likewise." Even tax collectors came to be baptized, and they said to him, "Teacher, what should we do?" John answered them, "Stop collecting more than what is prescribed." Soldiers also asked John, "And what is it that we should do?" John told them, "Do not practice extortion, do not falsely accuse anyone, and be satisfied with your wages." Now, the people were filled with expectation, and all were asking in their hearts whether John the Baptist might be the Christ that they were waiting for. John answered them all, saying, "I am baptizing you with water, but one mightier than I is coming, and I am not worthy to loosen the thongs of his sandals. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. His winnowing fan is in his hand to clear his threshing floor and to gather the wheat into his barn, but the chaff he will burn with unquenchable fire." Exhorting them in many ways, John preached the good news of God's love to all the people. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you. So today is meant to be all about joy. And when I was looking at the readings, and I looked at that second reading that Paul wrote to the Philippians, I thought, we are being ordered to be happy. Rejoice in the Lord always. I'll say it again, rejoice. It's like a mandate, a necessity. And it's a wonderful message to be joyful in this season, but I have to confess sometimes, let's face it, it's not always easy to be happy and joyful. I mean, any one of us sitting here today might have some anxieties about whether we're going to get everything done before Christmas that we want to do, whether it's the shopping or the wrapping or the cleaning or the getting ready for visitors. This is a season that can weigh us down, make us feel a little lost. Are we going to get there in time? You know what? It reminds me of a little scene I witnessed a long time ago that I'd like to share with you. I was in Walmart, huge store, and this was a time about 20 or 30 years ago when there was a song out that was very popular. You might remember it. If I had any ability to sing, I'd sing it for you, but I can't carry a tune at all, so I'll just tell you the words of the song were, "Don't worry, be happy." I think it was Bobby McFerrin, and that was the refrain of the song. He talked about all the things that can worry us, and then the refrain, "Don't worry, be happy." Well, anyway, I was in a Walmart when that song was popular, and I happened to notice a little boy who I think was about 3 or 4 years old, walking around looking at the toys on the shelves. And suddenly he realized that he had wandered away from his mother. And you could see him look up and she wasn't there. And fear came upon this little kid's face. And then it almost turned to panic. And he ran up and down the aisles calling, "Mommy." And I thought he was on the verge of tears. And the whole time he was running around in panic and fear, what was playing over the speakers in the Walmart store were, "Don't worry, be happy." I don't think he was hearing the song. He was too frightened. Well, then I saw his mother come around the corner of the aisle, and she looked as panicked as he did. And she found her son, and of course, there was this joyful reunion where he ran up to her and she swept him up in her arms and kissed him, and all of his panic and fear went away, and there was just joy. Don't worry, be happy. The reason I share that little scenario that I witnessed a long time ago in Walmart's is to say that to some extent it's possible that there are some times in our lives when you and I are that little boy. We feel a little lost sometimes. The burdens of life can get to us. Certainly that can be true in this season. We even read articles in the paper about the heightened level of anxiety and worry because we're all running around and trying to get things done, and it's going to happen on time. But it's not just the Christmas season, it's life in general can make us feel worried and anxious and afraid. Could be illness or the illness of someone we love. It could even be something more serious like the loss of someone close to us. It could be worries about work or home or family or the political situation in our country, or even the fact that war is going on in this season when we celebrate the birth of the Prince of Peace. And so we can be like that little boy running around looking for some consolation, some safety, some security, the way a little child would look for its mother. And all the time that we're running around and feeling afraid, God is like that song coming over the speaker in Walmart. God is there. He's saying, don't worry, be happy. He's saying it in the first lines of today's second reading from Philippians. Brothers and sisters, rejoice in the Lord always. I shall say it again, rejoice. The Lord is near. And that same reading goes on to say, have no anxiety at all, but only have thanksgiving, gratitude in your hearts. Yes, it's hard at times to be happy and joyful. But we have to remember that God, the God who loves us, the God who's as even more loving than that mother in Walmart's was, that God is walking next to us every day of our lives. He is our traveling companion through life. He is loving us and telling us, don't worry, be happy. His love is meant to help us put things in perspective and know that all the things that can weigh us down can be dealt with through the power of his love and providence and care for all of us. That was the message of John the Baptist, and he's someone who figures very prominently in the season of Advent. We keep hearing about the Baptist in the Gospels as we hear about him in today's Gospel. He had tried to convince the people who would listen to him that they should not worry, that they should be happy. Because the Messiah who would change life for them, who would teach them a new meaning of love, and who would help them to understand God in a new way was coming, and we have to prepare his way. In today's gospel, that's not only John's message, but apparently it found a hearing among the people. Because one of the lines from today's gospel is, the people were filled with anticipation. John's message got to them. They got excited. They believed him. Someone was coming who would make a difference. And because they believed him and were so excited and anticipating the coming of Jesus, They come up with a question in today's gospel, which is a great question for all of us in the Advent and Christmas season. The crowd said to John, "What should we do?" And he didn't hesitate to answer. To those who were wealthy, he said, those of you who have 2 coats, give one of your coats to someone who has no coat. And do the same with food. Feed the hungry. To tax collectors who were thought of as outcasts in that society, what should we do, they said. They wanted to change their lives. Just don't tax more than is legal. Be fair. Be just, was John's answer. Soldiers said to him, "What should we do?" Do not practice any kind of violence. Do not falsely accuse anyone. Be satisfied with your station in life. In other words, John kept saying that we have to answer the question, what should we do? Not only to get ready for the coming of the Messiah, but to be happy, to be joyful, to know that we have something to look forward to, and that is the coming of Jesus in our lives. With this gospel on the 3rd Sunday of Advent, maybe we could ask ourselves, what should we do? Let me start with me. I have to look into my own heart and say, how could I be a better priest? All of us can paraphrase the question, how can I be a better mom, a better dad, a better brother or a better sister? How can I be a better daughter or son? How can I be a better friend? How can I be a better neighbor? A better co-worker to all those people I meet when I go to work every day? How can I be better? Because that question is really, how can I prepare for the coming of the Lord? The way we prepare, according to today's gospel, is to grow, to be better. What can we do? We can become more effective in sharing God's healing love. What should we do? They said to John the Baptist. Perhaps comfort someone's loneliness with an act of kindness. Reach out and heal maybe a rift that's between you and someone you've either hurt or been hurt by. Share some word of hope with someone who's grieving something. What can we do? It's a challenging question, but we're all called to answer it, and that's what it means to get ready for Christmas. Maybe we can be a little bit at times running around frantically like a little boy in the Walmart looking for his mother. Whether we recognize it or not, what we're looking for is the peace and especially the joy, the happiness that God has to offer us in this season. I would like to say thank you to all of you for answering the question, because there's so many ways to answer it. Why am I thanking you? You woke up this morning, and whether you thought of the question, what should I do, or whether you didn't think of that question, you decided to come here, to come to Christ in the Eucharist. I thank you for doing that because, as I always say when I thank you for coming to Mass, your very presence makes the faith of all of us stronger, makes our parish stronger as a community. So we answered the question once today, what should we do? We should come to Jesus, to his table, and receive him. And may our receiving him as he feeds us with this blessed food, this incredible sacrament, may he give us the wisdom of his Spirit to know how to answer the question, what should we do? What should we do? Yeah, we need to get a gift for someone we love, and we need to wrap the gift and clean the house, and prepare the Christmas dinner, but more importantly, we should love. And whatever form that love takes will not only make us ready for Christmas, but it will help our world to come a little bit closer to being the kingdom of justice and peace that God wants our world to become.